The Eastern Cape have also flooded after heavy rains. Cooperative Governance MEC Zolile Williams is giving an update on the extent of damage in the province. Several people have died and hundreds have been left homeless around the country. Reporter Ronald Masinda is in East London now, joining us to give us the very latest. Ronald, good morning to you. Colleague, what can you tell us not only about the after effects of the flood, but also what the Cooperative MEC within the province, Zolile Williams, has to say?
Good morning, Matumelo. Well, it has been a devastating month affected by floods here in the Eastern Cape. Earlier this month, we were also reporting in Komane how many people's homes were swept away due to the floods, and it appears that there's been more flooding in that particular part of the world. We do understand that several people who have been left homeless have been provided shelter in Komane. Coffee Bay, of course, is an area that is now also badly affected. So we are hoping to hear from the MEC of Cooperative as to how they will approach the situation in these parts of the world. But we will be speaking to the spokesperson of Cooperative now, Mr. Ngam. Mr. Ngam, thank you so much for your time. Please explain to us just the sheer devastation that people, in particular in Coffee Bay, are going through.
Good morning to you, Ronald, and to the eNCA listeners. Indeed, reports at our disposal do confirm that the disaster that has befallen our areas like Komane and Coffee Bay, they are quite devastating. And as government, we have been able to resuscitate and have our teams on the ground to ensure that we lessen the impact thereof. We are aware that in Coffee Bay, for instance, a school has been completely destroyed, and the Department of Education is working flat out to ensure that there are temporary shelters for those kids, because we don't want them to miss out on the school calendar. Also, the district municipality has been able to establish an alternative route, but unfortunately, the condition thereof as well is not welcoming. It's bad. However, our department is in contact with members of the South African National Defence Force to descend there hopefully before the end of this week, so that they can begin to be of assistance, so that we connect our communities and their daily lives to continue to happen as before. So indeed, the situation is bad, and the MEC of the department, Zolile Williams, is sending heartfelt condolences to the two deceased people and in the area of Coffee Bay, as well as the one that has also passed on through drowning in Okumgijima. However, we are still looking for 4 others in Coffee Bay. Our teams are working flat out also so that we recover those bodies, and we send our condolences to all the affected families.
Can you tell us at this stage the extent of the damage? I think earlier this month it was reported that your department needed about 4.5 billion rand.
I can't confirm in terms of those figures for now, because remember, we've got a media briefing at 12 o'clock. The MEC will be able to delve into the details as to how are we going to respond as the provincial government, working with all 3 spheres of government, so that we lessen the impact of these floods in our communities. Because what we want to say also to our communities, to alert them, to say we must brace ourselves for more rains, because we are in the summer season. So a lot of rains are still coming, and the indications working with weather services that by March, end of March, these rains should subside. But for now, we are being hit hard by the disaster as a result of the rains. So the details of the monetary value of the extent of the damage budget-wise will be unpacked by the MEC this afternoon.
Is your department also looking into some of the municipalities, like the Ngijima municipality, which, of course, recently people have been up in arms with the issue of service delivery? Is the issue of the drainage systems or issues which could help prevent such devastation? Are there those issues?
What is going to happen is that the disaster situation is a learning curve on us. For instance, if you talk about the repair and the rehabilitation of the road infrastructure, the drainage system, it is going to be dealt with in an integrated fashion, so that if the rains come again, we are able to avert any negative situation as far as blocked drains, etc., etc. So an integrated approach is going to be employed to try and elevate the situation that our communities are finding currently.
Last question. We understand that a lot of people have been affected by these floods, or people who are still living in low-lying areas. As government, are you going to be looking into encouraging communities to perhaps live in places that could help them avoid these floods?
It is an ongoing attempt on the part of government to always advise our communities to not to grab any vacant space, not to grab any land, especially in low-lying areas. So an attempt will be done to continuously try and motivate our people to move away from these low-lying areas, because these areas are disasters waiting to happen. And as a current government, we don't want a situation where our communities live in these areas, and when the rainfalls come, they end up being the victims. So we'll continue to engage our people, and those who intend to also grab land, we encourage them not to do that and to work with authorities, ward councillors, traditional leaders, and municipalities for them to try and identify proper land for them to build their houses going forward.
All right, Mr. Ngam, thank you so much for your time. Well, we will be waiting to hear from the MNC of Cocta, who will be briefing the media at around 12 o'clock.
Keep an eye on the story. Ronald, with you on the ground. As soon as there are other developments, we'll be sure to catch up with you again. Colleague, all our thanks to Ronald Masinda. With that being said, here's what